Okay, students, welcome to the application development session. Today's session, we're going to look into AJAX technology. Okay, so AJAX stands for Asynchronous JavaScript and XML. So we're going to learn about this one, how to work with this one. If you consider a technology like HTML, or if you take a technology like CSS, you know, it works on either client side or it works on either server side. If you take PHP, it works in the backend, in the server. If you take MySQL, it's in the backend. But if you take Ajax, Ajax is a way of doing something. So I'm going to teach you how to do that one. It is not a programming language, and you can accomplish using this one multiple type of programming languages also. For today's learning purpose, we are using PHP along with JavaScript. We're going to use like that. So this technology was pioneered by Microsoft. You should understand that one. And the very first browser to support Ajax was Internet Explorer. If you want to tell one good thing about Internet Explorer, you can tell this. So Internet Explorer is the very first browser who was supporting Ajax because this technology was introduced by Microsoft. Right. I have drawn a small sketch for you to understand this one. Let me explain this one using this diagram. So if you take a look at a website, right, let's assume that there is a cricket match is going or in progress. Cricket match is in progress. So when the teams are playing, you know, we need to update the score. So we need to update the score. How are we going to update the score? You can't wait until the match is over or after 2 hours, every 2 hours you're updating. No, because if you go to a website, in the website, there should be a way of lively updating the scores. There should be lively updating the scores. For example, every 5 seconds, or let's say at least every 1 minute, the score gets updated. Okay, so even you can update it by ball also. Right. Let's assume within 1 minute, one ball will be sent. So in order to finish 1 over, we are getting nearly 6 minutes. So 6 times this will be refreshed, or 6 times this will be loaded. The idea is if you take a web page like this, and if you want the score to be updated here, the entire web page need to be reloaded or refreshed. That is the only mechanism now that we have. Without having a technology like Ajax, this is not possible. So with the Ajax technology, what we do is a piece of your web page. That means this particular section of your web page alone can get updated. All the other part can stay as it is. No changes will be done to the other parts of your website, but only this area of your web page, we can get it updated. We can do modifications. That's very simple to do. Not only that, this particular area of your website is the one who is going to communicate with the backend. Maybe your web server, and the web server will be executing the SQL commands. It will be pulling information from the SQL database, and it will be sending the information back, and it is not going to reload the page. It's going to update only here. Maybe one wicket falls after 5th over, one wicket falls. Then you need to update this from 0 to 1. And let's say runs, let's say end of 5th, 6th over, let's say this turns into 43. You can change things like that. So that is the basic idea. Without uploading the whole thing or without updating the entire thing, what we're going to do is we're going to update a small area of a page, right? So this is what the basic idea of Ajax is, right? In my program, what I'm going to do is now, the one that I'm going to build now, I'm going to show you. There are, if you take now for the time being, we are in Sri Lanka now. So I hope all of you know where Sri Lanka is, right? So it's closer to India. So it's somewhere here, right? So in Sri Lanka, we have provinces. Under provinces, we have districts. And under districts, we have cities. So this is the structure that we have. So basically, we have 9 provinces and 26 districts, if I'm not wrong. And there are so many cities under that, right? Okay. So what I'm going to do is, what if I can do something like this? I want a program where I'm going to have a comma box like this. So this is what I'm building actually, going to show you. I'm not going to build a simple thing. I can show you something simple also, right? So here we will be having, for example, let's say a particular province, let's say central province. It says central province, so I'll just say central. And Sabaragama, Uva, right? So southern province, like that. When you choose a particular province from this drop-down list box, let's see, we have another drop-down list box here. This one having nothing at the beginning. It has nothing at the beginning. Once you choose a province, this gets auto-loaded. All the districts coming under that particular province will come here. For example, central province, Kandy district is coming. Matale coming. And I think Kandy and Matale. Can you update me, please, children? Noor coming, right? Coming. These are the 3 districts coming. So when you choose central, automatically only this particular comma box should get updated. And we can't just update that part also. We need to get connected to the database. We have to search from the particular province code, then get all the districts coming under that particular province, right? Okay, so we are not going to build the entire SQL database for you. It is already available. I'll provide the link in the description so you can download that. So I'll show you, it's already available. We have opened it. So if you go to the GitHub website, this is the link where you can download that one. This link is also provided in the description. You can download that, no worries. Okay, so we're going to download this. Actually, what it has is, it has 3 SQL files. It has 3 SQL files. They are interrelated tables actually. So we're going to incorporate them to our database and we're going to get going, right? Let's try that one, right? So I'm going to go to, I'm not using any like GitHub software to do this one, right? I'm directly downloading and unzipping and doing it, right? Right, I'll download that. So just download it to under our project folder, websites. Going inside your project folder. Let's go inside a folder called temp and we will save it for the time being there, right? It's done. I'm going to open that place. Let's unzip this one and see extract files. Already I have a SQL command file that I'm not going to use today. So let's try using this one, extract here. So we'll see what we're going to get. So cities, districts in Sri Lanka. So we have 3 tables actually. It is just the tables, right? So actually certain ones are having superb, it's in Sinhala and Tamil as well, superb. So we can make use of that one as well, right? So let's import this database tables into our database. Then we will work on that. Remember, this doesn't belong to any database, only the table creation code and the dumping data is given. So if you go to the cities, it's a big one. So huge amount of cities are given. You also can contribute if there are Tamil names missing, Sinhala names missing, means you also can contribute this file, right? Okay, I'm going to open my HeyDoSQL software. You can use your browsing software, whatever you want, right? I'm selecting my database, which is DB AD 4850, right? Now I'm going to go to, I'm going to select this. While it is selected, I'm going to go to file, then I'm going to select load SQL file. While this is selected, my database is selected, file, load SQL file. And I'm going to come here to websites, HND 4850, version 3, TMP, districts and provinces. First, we will take the provinces, right? Okay, we'll take that. I'm finding it difficulty. Okay, I can increase the font size, right? So you can see these are the provinces that we have, right? Okay, I'm going to execute this SQL command. It is loaded. So let's run that. Okay, right. 9 rows added. So if you refresh the database, okay, now I got a new table. Let's see the database table. Wow, it is having those information here. Right. Now let's take the other one, file, load SQL file, districts. If you are watching this one from another country, you can find the SQL commands for your countries. Please do a Google search and you might be lucky to end up with a document like this if someone has developed it, so you can make use of it. World countries are there that is already available. You can make use of those files. I'm executing this file as well. So this says create table if not exists districts. There's no table called districts here. So it's going to create that table as well and dump all the districts. So 50 records were found there. So 50 records have been added. So let's take a look at the districts table as well. I should be able to see that. Right, we will create the next one. We will upload the other one also and see SQL file. Now I'm going to select the cities one. Let's execute that also. So it has some, it is taking a few seconds. So 3,692 rows affected. So it should be okay now, right? So it's a bit loading, I think. We will reload it and see whether we can see the tables. Okay, so I'll close this application and I'll take it once more and see. Yeah, it has loaded. It was a refreshing problem. You can see. So provinces I already showed you. Let's open the districts folder. It's not folder, table, and you can see all the districts are displayed. I was wrong. 25 districts available. Cities also available. So a huge amount of cities available here. 1,000 records only showing here, but there are more records available. Here it says limited to 1,000, that you can show more records as well, right? Okay, so there are a lot of records available, right? Cool. So now we have done all these things. Now we have to build a small interface and we have to connect it to this one, right? Okay. So I'm going to pause the video and build the UI part first. Then I'll come back and join my GUI part. Sorry, my Ajax part. First of all, I'm going to duplicate the file sample page, which is provided in the project folder, link in the description. I'm going to duplicate this to Ajax test 1.php, right? So that is the file I got here, duplicated it, right? It's a sample page. Let's say Ajax test title. There's a form and everything is there. Actually, form is not very important for us here because we are not going to submit anything and do, right? We are not going to submit a form and do. If you really want, we can do it, right? Let me quickly design this part and pause the video and design it. Then I'll talk to you what I did, okay? The user interface has been designed like this: 2 drop-down list boxes or comma boxes. First, to select your province, then select your district. You can customize it as you want. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to using an SQL command and PHP code. I'm going to load all the provinces from the database here, but districts, I'm not going to load anything, right? I'm going to leave this one blank. I will handle that one using Ajax because you don't know which province I'm going to choose here. Whatever the province I'm going to choose, accordingly, the district's going to get loaded here. That is what I'm going to do. To do that, what I simply did, I just showed you how the UI is built. So you can see the sample code, I copied and pasted it and duplicated it. This, I have the first comma box is here. You can see this is the first comma box or drop-down list box. Code is here, right? This is the one I have. Now, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get this thing connected to the database. So I will start a PHP code here. Let's connect it to the DB. You know how to do that part. You can use the require command, and we have a file for that, dbconnection.php. That's done. Now what we do is we come to the select your province part. Inside this one, I can select the options, right? So when I want to use the options, each option will have each provinces, right? So let's do this one using a PHP code. Let's start a PHP code here. Then first of all, let's build an SQL command. So we will need to look into the table, how to build the SQL command. So let's open the database here. So if you take a look at the provinces table is having primary key IDs there. Name in English, name SI, that is Sinhala, name TA, that is Tamil. So we are interested in using in the English. So you are welcome to do anything else. So for a change, we will do it and see. So these two fields I'm going to take ID, comma, name underscore EN, right? So I will write select all from, please make sure writing select ID, comma, name underscore EN is much effective than writing the asterisk code. You will learn these things if you are research, that is called query optimizations, right? Query optimizations. In order to keep that good practice, we will write like that. ID, comma, name underscore in English from province. Is that province or provinces? Provinces, right? So that's how the table is, provinces. Select from provinces. Let's execute the SQL command. RS is assigned to MySQL I query, and we will pass in the SQL command. Then it will return all the 9 records or rows. Now we can put while row is assigned the value MySQL I fetch ASOC, and we can supply the resource here. Inside this while loop, I can stop the PHP code and I can switch to the option tag. Here I can display the province from the row array. I'm going to display. So it's going to be name underscore EN. This is what is visible to the user. And internally, in order to process the one, what we need is that particular province's ID. So if you are displaying Southern province to the customer or the client, in order to select this particular record, we need the primary key. So here, value, I'm going to give echo row arrays ID field. That is how I'm programming this, right? Let's reload the page and see whether it can be done, right? Let's reload that. You can see nicely all the provinces we have loaded here. So I'm going to choose a province like Western province or Eastern province, like that. I'm going to choose a province. So it's going to load the work for me from here, right? Before that, what we need to do is we need to have a glimpse of a JavaScript idea, right? So those who are watching this video have no idea on JavaScript, you better follow a basic course on JavaScript. You can go to W3 Schools and within no time, you can learn this one. I'm going to give you a tiny demo how to do a JavaScript part. So those who are already knowing JavaScript, you can skip this part and forward and watch, right? What you should do is, right? So let's first of all have this one. I just add a button here. Just add a button here. Button, right? Let's say click to test. Right, click to test. So there's a button. So if you click on that, that's nothing happening. So if that should work, right, it should be linked with a JavaScript. So JavaScript should be written closer to the component. Beneath the component, you can write. You can start a script tag like this. Even if you don't type this one, it's quite all right because all the modern browsers, they are by default supporting JavaScript. So writing like this is also sufficient. Since it's already there, we will just leave it. So I'm going to say function, just like PHP function, test function. Okay, so right. So here, if you want to display something, you can use the console window and everything. I'm just going to use a message box like alert Let's say hi. So if you reload this and if you hit this one, there's nothing going to happen. This is also event-driven programming. So when this button is clicked, that function should be called. Okay, this function should be called. Right. So inside this button, I'm going to say on click. You can see, I'll slowly do it on click. It's there. So on click, this is the old way of doing it. JavaScript : you give the name of the function, right? Just function. I still do my coding like this because I've been coding for a long time. So still that is my practice. So this is new way of doing. You can do like this. Semicolon is not a must, right? So let's reload this. Let's try this now. And you can see message box working. So we just made it JavaScript enabled. Okay, so that's been done, right? So that's been done. So I will just leave this one commented in the code, actually. I don't want this, actually. I don't want that. So what I basically want is, okay, we will have this one uncommented. Let's try to call that one when you click on this comma box, right? So when it's not clicking, actually, when the value is changing, right? So let's go to the list drop-down list box, right? In the drop-down list box, what I'm going to do is on change. Can you see that? On change. Let's say test function. Let's reload this. Now you can see Western points is there. So if you choose Western points, nothing is changing, nothing happening. So if you choose central, function is working. I think you noticed that. So if you change that value, it's going to come, right? So for that reason, the very first value, you can say please select or something you can put, right? So you can do it. It's cool working, right? Let's get the value also, right? Let's get the value also, right? So let's modify that one to receive the parameter of the ID province ID we will receive here. So let's say function show province ID. So you have to receive the ID and you can simply display that, right? So you can type here inside this one when you're calling function name is show province ID. Instead of calling, so show province ID, here we will say within the parentheses, we'll say this dot value. Let's try that and see. Yeah, it's getting the value 3, right? So it's quite simple to do, right? So we are almost there, right? Okay, now cool. Now our target is when you choose this, we need to load the values up here. When you choose this, we need to load the values up here. That we cannot do it directly. We need to make use of the Ajax help. So I'm going to copy in 3 functions actually. Using that pure Ajax functions, we're going to get this thing done, right? So that's quite simple to do. Let's see how we can do that part, right? I'll come back very quickly, right? Just I'll pause the video. Right, what we're going to do is, right, I already have my code with me, right? I already copying and keeping for saving time. I just copied this one, right? Give me a second, I just quickly take it. Right, I'm just copying and pasting this code. I've been using this code for quite a long time, children. I will be quickly explaining you what it's going to do, right? Okay, it's pretty simple to understand. Pretty simple to understand, right? Let's try how it can be done. First of all, there is a part where I have put a comment called Ajax code starts here, and I will finish here. Yeah, you can say Ajax code finishes here. If you come up here, I have created a variable called XML HTTP. This is actually long time back. I took it from a tutorial website and I converted this into PHP. It was in originally it was in ASP code. I just mechanism I changed to PHP. So I've been using this one in my websites throughout more than 10 years. I've been using this code in, right? Okay. Actually, you can do what you do here within 2 lines if you use jQuery. Okay, that's a different thing. This is my own code or the own customized code, which is more faster than that because only few lines we have written, right? So first of all, in line number 86, I'll explain it to you what happens. We are declaring a variable called XML HTTP. Actually, this is the AJAX object, right? Down here, line number 88, we have a function called search product. So I'm not going to call this one as search product. I'm going to call this function as load districts. Load districts. Okay. So we're going to receive the ID. What ID? The province ID we're going to receive. So let's call product PID, right? So right, province ID. Down here, XML HTTP, that is the AJAX object, is assigned the value get XML HTTP object. So this should be in simple letters actually. As I told you, I took this one from an ASP website. So get XML HTTP object is a function I have written down. That is to check. I will do that one because when you call a function, we have to go there and do it and come. So let's come here. This is how I have defined function get XML HTTP object. Simply in a nutshell, if I'm asking or telling you, we are checking whether our browser is supporting AJAX or not. If our browser is not supporting AJAX, then this is not going to work. So we have written 2 if conditions, not a if condition with the else part. Okay, there are just 2 if conditions. First if conditions is for very old browsers. Sorry. The last one is for the very old browsers. First one is for the new browsers. We check window.xml HTTP request. This is a property. Those who don't know about this one, learn about DOM elements, document object modeling under JavaScript. So you will understand that this is not a platform to explain everything. I'm just showing you how the code is working. Even if you don't understand this piece, you can still modify and use the code. No worries. Window.xml HTTP request. So we check whether this is true or not. If it is true, that means it is supporting AJAX. So we create a new object, XML HTTP request object we create, and we return that. That's what it does, return new. If this is not true, if it is an old browser, this is not true. You come and again check if window.ActiveX object. ActiveX is again a Microsoft technology. So if it is, this is true. So this works for Internet Explorer 5 and 6. So even long back then it was being supported. So if it is under Internet Explorer 6 or if it is under Explorer 5, we are trying to create a AJAX object using new ActiveX object. Then we pass in the parameter Microsoft.xml HTTP. So that's the technology. We try to create anyhow we try to create a AJAX object, right? Then come to this point, line number 127, if you're coming means neither of these commands were successful because it is not a new browser and it is not an old browser. It is also not supporting something like Internet Explorer 4. If you can download and install and test now, this might not work. It returns null. In that case, that particular browser is not supporting AJAX. Or if a new browser is there, it is not supporting AJAX for any reason, this is not going to work, right? So that is being explained to you. So line number 89, we will either receive AJAX object here or null here. So in line number 91, we make sure if AJAX object is equivalent to or equals to null, that means you cannot proceed. So simply we put error message, your browser does not support AJAX, and we say return nothing means from this point, the JavaScript code ends. So here onwards, it's not going to run. In modern browsers, we cannot execute this one. The reason for that is modern browsers, all of our browsers are supporting AJAX. So it's going to perfectly work. So we don't have to bother about this. We go to the next lines. Let's understand that. So it says, line number 96, it says URL, because our JavaScript, as I told you here, our JavaScript is going to communicate with the backend, right? It's going to communicate with the backend. So we need a URL. You know what is a URL? It's a web address basically. So since it is going to refer to another PHP code or PHP file inside the same website, inside the same folder, I have only given the program name. If it is going to refer to a third-party website inside a folder, inside a directory, if you are accessing a PHP code, you will have to give the full path, http://websites name/folder name/file name. So here we don't do that because both files are inside the same folder. So URL is started here. Ajax_search is the file I'm going to call. Still, I didn't build this. I will build it now. What it does, then URL is assigned URL plus. This is JavaScript, not PHP. So URL is assigned URL plus. What are we doing? We are joining some values with that. You know, text values can be joined. So we are building a URL code here. One piece is there. Then question mark, you know, that is a parameter we are sending. Here we'll say PID. PID is what? Province ID is equivalent to that equivalent sign is there plus PID variable, which we receive from the function here, PID, right? So that's what we add. Then we again continue. URL is assigned URL plus SID. This is a secret ID. We just generate that math.random. It works perfect without, right? So this line, if you want, you can delete this. It will still without this line, it will work. It works perfect without this line. That is why I added the comment like that. Just to make the code bit serious, we have added like that. Then we have some built-in functions we are calling HTTP, XML HTTP, Ajax object, on ready state change. On ready state change, state should be, there are state 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up to 6. State 4 means Ajax object has properly done the work and ready to display the answer. Okay, you don't need to learn a lot of things. So state change, there's a function here. We are calling that function state changed. Okay, so when you call this one, if XML HTTP, this is Ajax object, ready state equal to 4. That means if it has done everything properly and it is directly ready to display the answer. Document dot get element by ID. Where are you going to display the answer? Where are you going to display the answer? Actually, and what you do is in that place, there's a property called inner HTML. Whatever the HTML codes going to come inside, you can assign it. So if you type within double quotations, hello world will come. Instead of that, what we do is XML HTTP, which is the Ajax object dot response text. When you executed this file, which is Ajax search.php, when you executed from the server, it has given you some values. It has given you some results. That is what is going to remain in response text. So that particular object, XML HTTP, that is the Ajax object having response text. This value came from server. That is what we are displaying inside the display area. So I'm not going to have a display area. What I have is I have the districts. Actually, districts, you can see here, I have it. It says province. The other one is district. Down here, I have the district. And the district here, district, not districts, district. So let's change district. So when you say district, we are referring to this particular tag. So inner HTML means whatever comes in between these two tags. So the option tags I'm going to return from the server. That's what I'm going to simply do. Okay, right. So we will, for the time being, that's all what it does. And you will execute the code from here. So XML HTTP open, post method, you give the URL and true. I'm not that aware what is this true stands for. And http.send null. So these two values were there. If possible, please refer to a documentation, right? Okay. So this is how you execute the code. So this will do the work really fine, right? Now, what we're going to do next is we're going to make sure our Ajax code is there, right? So we have to build this file now quickly. Ajax search, right? Let's do that. Let me create a file. Ajax underscore search.php. So that's just a PHP file. First thing first, I need to get it connected to the database. So then I'm going to build an SQL command. SQL equals. So before that, I received the province ID. So I'm going to say request, that is province ID. So I can build an SQL command, select all from districts. Districts, where we'll take a look at the table, how it is done. So we'll go to the districts table. So you can see districts table has a foreign key called province ID. So there's a foreign key called province ID. So you can say where province ID is equivalent to the the province ID that you sent in. And you can say RS is assigned the value. MySQL I query the SQL command. Once you execute the SQL command, you will receive the results. So what are the results you can receive? You're going to have a while loop, first of all, because more than one record can count. So we'll say row MySQL underscore fetch a sock source. What we need to return there is option tags, right? So I'm going to write option echo row arrays. We'll again check the table and name en. So name en. Then here we need district also has the ID. So we will put the ID here. Go row array ID. When you now we have to test this one using the front end and C. Like we can directly run this code. So hopefully this will work. Let's try this one now. Let's go to the page here, and we need to do a tiny change, right? When you we need to call this, right? Yeah. When you are clicking on the drop-down list box, which is the province, you need to call that JavaScript. So it's not show province ID. We need to call load districts, and we have to say this dot value. We have to pass in what is the province ID. So hopefully it will work. Let's try this one. Let's reload the page. You can see there's nothing here now. I will load central points. It didn't work. So there could be error. There could be error. We can fix that. I'll post it and come back. Right. Okay. Thank you, Atif, to finding out the error. So here in line number 8, I missed the proper symbol here. So MySQL I dash this one is greater than symbol. So the SQL command will get properly executed. So let's try this time. Still no luck, right? So there could be something wrong. We will fix it, right? Don't worry. Displays, it was like this. Let's change it to MySQL I because we are using the latest one. There we go. Here we can load the things. Now this is fully Ajax enabled. So when you click on the particular province, this is coming, right? This file I will give you now. Anyways, you have to further modify this and upload the source code and the screenshot tonight. Here you have to add the cities. So once you choose the Kagol district, all the cities under the Kagol district should be displayed. You can use the cities table to do that, right? So I have built 75% of it, 25% you people build it. Hopefully you understood this one. So this is about the Ajax, how it is working. I explained the part and we built this part that was important. This part is the one which is the JavaScript is calling. So Ajax stands for asynchronous JavaScript and XML, which doesn't need you to reload the page. For example, you select northwestern and reload the page. So the districts are appearing, not like that. You just click on the spot, it's changing. Only this piece is updating. So I hope you have found this session useful, and okay, see you in another session. Thank you very much.